What's up guys, it's Sean and welcome back to the iherng podcast, and today we will answer a question from email. This is from Thomas. Hi iherng, I had previously written to you in July but was not receiving a reply from you. I guess you must have been very busy and too many emails to reply, or maybe my questions were too dumb to begin with. It's okay. How I wish I came across your channel much earlier, or I got to know about property investment 10 years ago. I am a self-employed running my eatery outlet since 2004, handed over by my parents. Although I did not think one day I would end up this way after getting my bachelor and master's degree from UK in 1998. Things hadn't been smooth sailing for me after graduation, as the economic outlook was still somewhat overcast by the 1997 crisis, where jobs opportunities were scarce and I did not have the luck to venture into my dream job. I did, however, work in a field which was totally non-related to my studies, and also worked in a bank in KL for a short period of time. Ever since I took over the business, I could appreciate that having an own business back in my small town is also a blessing and comfortable as compared to the 9-to-5 job in big cities. Perhaps partly that was due to that I have married too young at 26 and quickly settled down in my hometown together with my wife, who is my secondary school's classmate. We went to college in India after that and both graduated from UK in 1998. Over the years, we started accumulating savings from the business, and finally in 2011, we bought our landed dream home in our hometown. It is a gated and guarded low-density residence and purchased it for 717,000, a 6,300 square feet bungalow under joint name. We took a loan of 570,000 for 20 years. The balance now is approximately 300,000, as we have dumped in twice to reduce the principal to save interest. The loan was a flexi mortgage and it came with an OD facility, which I am allowed to use the money up to 75% of the loan amount of 570,000, which is around 425,000 should I need the money to roll my business. However, I did not use the OD facility over the years because the usable limit was not much, but recently it has gone up to 200,000 since our first installment started in 2014 upon VP. Apart from owning this property, we inherited a 4-story shop lot and my old house where I spent my childhood. After watching your video, I really regret that I spent nearly 1 million to renovate our dream home, although my wife was making hell a lot of noise during that time, which I didn't listen to a single bit. I just wanted the best I could afford, and now as we are a step closer to our 50s in 2 years' time, we started to feel the stress of our upcoming retirement. During all these years, aside from the bungalow and the renovation costs, we spent so much of our earnings to send our 3 children to private international schools. Eldest son has been to Australia in 2013 for his secondary for 3 years, living with my sister in Sydney, who is now in his 4th year as MBBS at Newcastle, Nusa Jaya. The second son went to JB International School and just recently started his 1st year in Monash University, while the youngest daughter is attending another international school near my town. We spend pretty hefty on education, thus our savings is only somewhat 400,000 to 500,000 after COVID, where our business was heavily affected. Due to the recent multiple visits to Sunway, my wife pulled the bullet and bought a 460 square feet unit at Union Street last month, after hearing my son complaining about his hardship getting along with the housemate at waterfront residences. I know the price for this unit is insanely high at 1,250 square feet, which I told my wife after comparing properties in Bangsar and Mont Kiara, but she insisted to buy as the nearby condos are way more expensive, such as Geo and Geo Lake Condo. The unit comes with an existing tenancy contract of 2,700 per month, managed by the management company renting out to students, and the monthly installment for this unit is around 3,000 since our tenure is only like 10 years and bank loan of 53%. Here's my question. Do you think that Union Street's entry price was too high, considering the vendor purchased it at a much lower price in 2017, as SPA was signed at 517,000? I think that the developer could have given 20,000 to 30,000 discount at that time. Is there any room for appreciation since this entry price was too steep? Number 2, assuming there's little room for appreciation in the next 5 years since our entry price is too steep, does that mean that this investment is still considered bad since entry price was so high? On paper, this is considered a no-gain investment, although the renter may be able to cover my installment in few years' time. Number 3, I am looking for another condo with TOD at Subang. What is the reasonable entry price? I don't have a drone to fly around the area to find out where are the empty lands around Sunway and Subang. Number 4, do you think it is wise to use my OD facility as a vehicle for me to acquire properties so I don't have to refinance my bungalow? Number 5, How do I continue buying one property after another? People who can continue to acquire so many properties means their income might have been increased concurrently to match the total monthly installment commitment. If my earnings is not increased by much, will properties with steady rental income free up my quota of getting bank loans for future properties? Please let me know on how I can accumulate more properties like you. Hahaha. No lah, 10 properties will be enough for me. Keep up the good work, always anticipating for your new videos. If you are free, let me know what you think of the upcoming The Hype at SJ7. Cheers, Thomas. Wow, thank you very much, Thomas. Until now, I still don't know where are you from. You say your hometown. I guess it's Muar, I guess, or Batu Pahat, because you sound very Johor. Anyway, there's a lot of information inside, but generally, this is a middle-aged man who have inherited a business from his parents, spent a lot of money on his first property and renovation work. He spent around $1 million in renovation work. But the most money he spent on will be the 3 children's education, and that is very scary for a new parent like me lah. So okay, there's a few things that we need to talk about first. First of all, I want to talk about the difference in hometown living versus city living. If you look into KL's traffic jam, right, it's always 7 to 8:30, 9 o'clock. Why? Because everybody clocks in at 9, so everybody needs to travel into the city at the same time. Then at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, everybody needs to travel out from the city. And during weekends, the city is actually rather empty. It means everybody just traveling in and out from the city. Not much population actually is within the city itself, but it's within the fringe. That means everybody goes to the city just for work. So what if you can have an income without the restriction of a location? It means that you can work within the comfort of your home. You can work anywhere just with the internet, right? You can perform your work. I think that is such a privilege and such a luxury to have, because now it automatically unlocks your geographical location. Instead of paying 5,000 or 3,000 for rent for a small pigeonhole in the city, now you can actually get massive space for the same value. Like here, Thomas actually shared that he got a 6,300 square feet bungalow at 717,000. Well, this is like 12 years ago, but it's still a very, very good buy leh. So what I'm saying here, especially for people who work within the government sector, right? If you can opt to service in a different state, for example, if you can opt to service in Kuantan, in smaller towns, Kuala Pilah, Seremban, maybe Ipoh, the salary will be the same. And sometimes there will be further incentives just for you to relocate away from your home into a suburb location, and suddenly that unlocks a lot of time and energy from your end. Not only you get more space with the same amount of money, now you get more money and your children gets more of you. This is something that I've been thinking a lot lately, because I've seen some friends who decided to suddenly, we are relocating back to Ipoh, we are relocating back to Telok Anson. No, Telok Intan. Telok Intan is so old. Some relocate back to Muar. But most of these are just people who works within the government sector. And to a certain extent, I'm envious. Well, this is for own stay still, where you get so much value, but for investments, I still encourage people to all invest in KL because rental is still high, and everybody just stuck with their job. That proves again, rental yield is heavily reliant on job opportunities. The area got more job opportunities, or the more temporary demand of space, which can be tourism oriented or it can be education oriented, those will drive up rental. But coming back to this, he has demonstrated that the children can grow up in a smaller town but all get international level education. But he inherited a business from the parents, so I don't know whether is it lucky or not, but it sounds like it's okay. So not only he has a bungalow, he has a shop lot, also an old house. So it means that there are 3 properties right now. But now, because of the children all going overseas, the wife suddenly went to Sunway, because one of the youngest son is in Monash University right now. They have came across Union Suites and they put the trigger at 1,250 per square feet already. Wow, this is higher price than Bangsa, higher price than Mont Kiara leh. So let's now go through the questions. Do you think Union Suites entry price was too high? Yes, but in comparison to what? The email here says that in comparison to what was purchased in 2017. So the thing is this, like now it's 517,000, but if it's for today's price, let's calculate 460 times 1250 is around 575,000. So it will be a difference of 60,000 lah. But then Thomas thinks that the developer could have given 20 to 30,000 discount. I think 20 to 30% would make more sense, not 20 to 30,000, but that time I've reviewed it before. So at that particular moment of time, everybody was still very negative about properties, and this was before COVID, to think about it, right? And everybody was skeptical. But this was a project that was heavily focused on the education sector of Bandar Sunway itself, where you have Taylor's, you have Sunway University, you have Monash, you have Sagi right opposite. Then you got the One Academy right now, all connected to BRT. Then the student lifestyle there is very, very luxurious because you get a lot of hangout spot, a lot of hipster places. Ultimately, it's just Subang Jaya and Bandar Sunway, right? Your younger kid is just very, very happy. But is it too high of a price? To me, too high in two ways. When I invest in properties, I do not look at what was the purchase price of the previous buyer, because if given the opportunity to you at that time, you might not purchase anyway. And there's no point rewinding like, remember last time, 15 years ago, Desa Park City sold 400,000 only. Now it's asking for 2.5 million. So should I buy at 2.6 million thinking that 15 years ago it was 400,000? Nobody would have pulled that trigger already. Instead, I will compare it with the current market value. So around Sunway area, what's the price per square feet like? So this is how I will do the research. For sizes around 1,000 square feet, what's the price per square feet like? And in terms of yield, is it within the acceptance level of your investment appetite? So if this is 575,000, if you were to think about it, will I still buy? If I pay 18%, let's say 20% down, right? So I will take 90% loan. It's around 513,000 in loan. So it will be around 2,668 something with 4% interest for 35 years. Around there, and it comes with a tenancy of 2007. So if I were to buy this, it means that after I put in my down payment, it's a break even, maybe even positive cash flow project for me. Then is this a good buy or not? It's entirely up to your acceptance level. Like a lot of people don't have the access to deals like I have, and we have explained this before. It also kind of depends on who is buying the property from who. If you're buying from sub-sale, everybody the same lah. But if you're buying from a developer, your position within the society actually matters to a certain degree. So for this answer, I don't think the comparison should be made on the previous price. Instead, it should be made within the surrounding. So within the surrounding of Bandar Sunway, is it expensive or cheap at 1250 square feet? And it's crazy. A lot of people still complaining, right? The Bongkera unit that I just purchased lately, it was around 950 to 1,000 per square feet. Wow, crazy lah, Sean. Where got such price one? Now you see, Sunway already 1250 per square feet. Question number 2, assuming there's little room for appreciation in the next 5 years since our entry price is steep, does that mean the investment is still considered bad since the entry price was high? On paper, this is considered a no-gain investment, although the renter may be able to cover my installment. Okay, room for appreciation heavily affected by the amount of supply. So in Bandar Sunway itself, you look at it, not much space already. When the only one left will be the one opposite Kesas Highway, where you kind of highlighted the hype, right? So the hype area there, that will be the brand new location. Then you have the new Sagi. Sunway International School also just relocated over there. Why relocated there? Again, because it frees up more space within Bandar Sunway itself. Then do you think that there's little room for appreciation? I think appreciation can be generated by two things. It's generated by brand new schemes or brand new launches within the location. It means that will there be a new performing arts center? Will there be a brand new commercial component? Will there be a brand new university or whatsoever? Are there more catalysts? Because now, I think the appreciation of your project is not limited by your high price. You are paying a high price because the project is already matured. The surrounding is already matured. Will a brand new highway change the price for you? No, because you are surrounded by a highway already. Will a brand new LRT station change? Not really, because you're already connected to LRT and BRT. Will a new university change the game for your location? No, because you are flooded with universities in abundance already. Will medical center help? Will anything help? No, because you're already buying the project at its peak. And is it wrong? I don't think so. Because sometimes when it's not as developed, a lot of people don't have the confidence to go into a particular location or a particular township. And this is what Faisal Rizwan, the Far Capital CEO, right, he mentioned about boosters within a location. How many boosters within a location that can actually boost up the capital appreciation of a particular location. And repetitive components of infrastructure does not overlay. So it doesn't mean that you got one medical center or the price increase. You got two medical centers, the price will increase higher. No, it doesn't work that way. One shopping mall is enough. What's the point of having 3 shopping malls, right? But the other way of looking at capital appreciation also, when you say that it's a rent that can cover the installment, do you foresee that the rent at that area will go up? Because now I work out around that area, so the traffic jams, and you look at the students population there, walao. First of all, you can see students, right, holding Chanel bag, wearing cool designer clothes across the street. It's insane. Don't go there for fashion or study, but that's not the point. The point is popularity will continue to go up. And if popularity continues to go up, the temporary need of space will also go up, rental will also go up. And rental goes up, let's say now it's 2007 ma. What if it goes up to 3001? Will your property increase in capital appreciation? I think so, because for a new investor who wants to come in, hey Mr. Thomas, you do want to release your unit or not? Because I can loan 35 years. Let's say if I buy from you at 600,000, not 575, I buy from you at 600,000. So 600,000 to me, because I can loan very long, my installment amount is like maybe 2,005. But would you let go because your rent is 3,000? You know how to calculate also, ma. So you will, let's say, you can even sell 650,000 for me to just break even between my rental and my installment. You get what I mean? And there will be a lot of investors within the market who is looking for properties where the rent can actually cover installment, because a lot of people actually complain, where got lah, where got such thing lah, Sean, where got so good lah, where got such a big frog just hopping around the street, right? Well, that's a Cantonese saying lah. That's how I think about capital appreciation too, and that can be your exit strategy. Because the thing is this, imagine all owners, when all the rent actually increases in price gradually together, right? So now generally it's 2007. What if it's all generally 3000, then generally 3003? Does student have any other options around it? No, because it's fully matured already. That's the only space that you get. There's borderline walking distance. Yes, there'll be a management company that provides shuttler, I understand. I got a lot of friends who owns unit there. They are now all making positive cash flow because they were the first batch to buy. Then if you were to think, will they let go an asset that is generating around 800 to 1,000 per month to you? They will all know how to calculate, so they will actually calculate you ngam borderline. So that's how capital appreciation makes sense also. A lot of people will think that, oh, oversupply lah. We need to always zoom into the proximity of that location itself. Then number 3, I am looking for another condo with TOD at Subang. So what is the reasonable entry price? I don't have a drone to fly around the area to find out what are the empty lands around Sunway and Subang. Well, you can look at the channel. But now I think 7W is making a big wave around that area lah. But why only Subang? Because I guess it's due to your familiarity, because your kid is constantly coming to Monash, so every weekend maybe you can come and visit him in Subang. Might as well get a property, right? So now what's popular is SJCC law. What's popular is the upcoming hype law. Then what's popular around that area? If it's within the TOD criteria, you don't have much choices actually, because TOD criteria, until today there's no clear definition, but my definition of it, it's a mixed development. A little bit of history first. So last time, residential was built purely, commercial offices were built purely. So suddenly when you have sophisticated planning brains already, they jam together. So suddenly it becomes like a work and play kind of components together. What about makan? What about convenience, right? So they add on a retail, they add on a shopping mall within. So when you have live, work, eat, convenience, right? There will be certain components of play, but what if people want to come in for short term, like meetings or whatsoever? Then it comes an integration with hotel. But what if we just jam in another link of transportation? So LRT will come in. And this is the definition of TOD, where you have a mixed component of transportation first, then convenience, then living, then work, then play, then learn, then whatsoever lah. So it's the whole combination of it. A lot of stations that is added in an afterthought manner, the linkage is not as strong. Means or the station is just there. A lot of people just call themselves TOD, but you need to walk like 300 to 500 meters to the LRT. That's not a TOD. A TOD is an integrated experience where it's almost like Singapore, all the stations without sweating a lot. That is TOD to me. So the minimum acceptance to me is a link bridge. If not, it's just a development adjacent to a station. But my question to you then, Thomas, why TOD? Like to me, I invest in properties even without TOD, right? They are already high in rental. They are already having a rent that can cover my installment. So my latest purchase in Mont Kiara, if you can see that episode, right? I'll just link it up around here. Without TOD, without train, without MRT, without LRT, it's already high in performance of yield. And I'll actually propose those locations instead. Because developers now all know how to play the game, man. When the property already comes with a TOD, they already set in the premium. So if you want to earn a lot of money also, not much lah left. Number 4, do you think that it's wise to use your OD facility as a vehicle to acquire more properties so that I don't have to refinance my bungalow? Actually, refinancing your bungalow versus using your OD facilities actually is the same thing. And for those who don't understand what is OD, OD is like an overdraft facility that is more common to business owners. Due to the inconsistent cash flow manner for a lot of businesses, what they worry is when they acquire assets, they don't have sufficient funds to actually roll their business maybe for cash flow of certain fixed costs. If I put in a lot of money here, likely I cannot roll. So overdraft is a facility where I can actually take out money temporarily, roll, then when I make back, I actually put back into the account. And this evolved into a format where we call it like a semi-flexi and a flexi loan. And last time, this was given to only business owners that they think fits. And back then again, flexi loans, right, is a very expensive facility. You can withdraw in and out so easily, right? It means a lot of administration and paperwork needs to be done. That's why they charge higher to have such facilities. But now a lot of banks are giving out for free lah. So I think it's also a good thing. And I encourage a lot of people to do so, especially young investors, right? Like what Rina, which is my friend at Far Capital, says, if you can put in extra 1 to 200 per month into your housing loan account, right, you will somewhat save like 6 to 7 years in tenure in the end of the loan. So that marginal effect, right, actually is very, very high. Of course, it needs to be read with the total amount of loan you acquire. Like if you loan 4 million, the extra 1-200, I don't think it's going to do a lot. But if it's a 4 to 500,000 loan, then that 1 to 200 impact will be way higher. But to me, OD facility versus your bungalow refinancing, right, I think it's the same. But here's a crazy thought, right? A crazy thought. Do you still necessarily need the bungalow? Just saying. All your children is all going out getting international education, and when they come back, right, will they want to stay with you still around your hometown and they want to spread their wings and go out and venture, right? What's the need of the 6,300 square feet bungalow then? So what if you no longer want to maintain such a bungalow, you have enough of that lifestyle already, now you kind of not downgrade but downsize your living, maybe into a semi or maybe into a double story link house corner lot that's around 2005-2008 square feet. But if you want land, there's still land. Then suddenly you have this amount of cash used for property investment instead. Maybe there's something to consider also, because both of you say it's almost 50s, so it's around 48 lah, which is still very, very young. You can take loan up to 65. Some banks actually give up to 70. So 70, you can still get 20 over years in loan. And the most exciting thing is this. Your children are all going to get their salary soon. Use their name, use your money, buy more, bro. Whew. I think that's the only reason I would want to have a lot of children also. But this sounds very wrong though. Number 5, how do I continue to buy property one after another? So the main concept a lot of people don't understand will be this. Rental collected can be declared as income using your tenancy agreement, using 6 months of bank transaction, also the SPA to prove your ownership. Then it can be declared by bank as income for you to take another loan. So for example, now my salary is 5,000. I buy a property where my money installment is 1,500, but the rental collected is actually 1,700. Okay lah, not too bad. very good already, right? So 1,007, a lot of people may think that, ayo, then I include the maintenance fee, I include all the miscellaneous fee, the makeover fee, whatever fee, I lose money, what? But to me, I don't care. I only care on how the bank thinks and read this document. 1,007, they will take 80% usually as your income, which is 1,360. You have certain banks that are a little bit more aggressive, that they take 100% of the total rent as your income. So for example, 100%, okay? With 100%, instead of calculating the income for your next property purchase, technically it's 5,000 minus 1,005, your money installment, you are left with 3,005, correct? Now, it's actually 5,002. Although you pay up 1,005 in money installment, your rental income, which is also your income, is added back on. 3,005 plus 1,007 is 5,002. Technically, you are richer for your next purchase compared to your first purchase. Then, you repeat this again and again and again. So the ultimate criteria to this will be to get the property where the rent can be higher than the installment for you to sustainably play this game. And think about it, if one property can just like give you, for example, this Union Switch, right? In that time you purchase, now every month extra 500 to 600 per month, would you settle at 1 or settle at 4? And that's the difference. When you sekaligus want to buy 4, then your income must be big. But if you subsequently buy 1 by 1, that will be the game to play. So it really depends on whether do you have capital, don't have capital. Both have different strategies to play this game. And that's why I encourage everybody to actually start earlier, like what Thomas wish also. If he come across my channel way earlier or 10 years ago, he start property. Because if you understand how loan works, and if you understand how people build equity via real estate and property investment, it's a very interesting game to play, and it's actually very, very safe because it's very difficult to adjust rent. A lot of people don't think about this a lot. Like if you tell the tenant today, hey, I want to increase your rent 100 ringgit next month. Most tenants will fund me. They will get really pissed off and you know what? I'm going to move next door. The difference is in a mature location when all rental all raised together because there's no more new projects within that area. Everybody got no choice but to just say yes, or which is happening in Mong Kiara right now. A lot of my tenants after the video, they share about how previously their rent was 4,008, now 5,002, then got some like 5,005, now 6,000. Wow. And for people who are cash rich, like for Thomas, like you have a few 100,000, right? Then it's a choice whether do you dump in more down payment to actually reduce your loan amount, to reduce your money commitment amount, which is your loan amount, so your rental can cover installments, so it can be a surplus of rent. But as long as there's rent, it can contribute to your overall DSR. But the challenge here is not about the loan for you, Thomas. The challenge for you here, because you are not local, you don't get the immediate access to research on end deals. So here I would encourage you to actually check out the bulk purchase route because it actually saves a lot of time in all this research. Well, please do your due diligence. Please read up all their materials and make the informed decision before joining. I'm also a client, that's all. That's not my company. I buy properties from them because they source the best deals that is beyond what's offered within the market. So now, like your wife buys sub-sale. So sub-sale is already market price. It's very hard to get below market price by a lot because all owners now have information available online. It's very hard to find an uninformed owner already in this age of time. So to me, the best way to get underpriced property in this current situation is via auction, because there are a lot of people who over leverage on their commitment. That's why they are in trouble right now. So sorry for that. The second route would then be bulk purchases, where this group actually buys directly from developer in huge amounts, so we get to enjoy more discounts. But to me, the access to deals is one thing. The research work and the data collection work and the strategy taught based on different profiles, that's the valuable thing for you. Because honestly, you are not that early within the game, but you have a separate condition where you kind of live life, you kind of have business, got income, you have built asset with 3 children, and their names and their slots, and how do you go around it. And I think it's a fabulous thing to do where you start educating them about property and real estate investment before handing over things to them. So not only you give them love, you give them education, you give them opportunities, you also prepare them for their next generation. And that's the best thing about real estate for me lah. So the only thing I also have the same regret as you is, why do you spend 1 million on your renovation? Listen to your wife, like guys, listen to your wife. 1 million on a renovation, right? And now when you want to sell a property, it's worth almost nothing, because it was cool. Like I still remember, like if you 10 years ago, I can imagine a house. Please don't tell me you have Corinthian columns, those Romanian columns, then you will have like a stainless steel gate and fence around. That was cool. Like my old house in my kampong also got such design. And if you just fast forward today, right, a lot of people are not going to pay money for that design, because to them, if I were to buy this property, I'm going to demolish it to replace it with designs that is currently cool today. So it's an extra cost to me, and I will use that to discount the price further. So you spend money to increase the value, you think, but to current buyers, at this current context, why like that one? And that's really how I think about renovation, right? I think enough or practical ease of maintenance will do. If you think about too futuristic or too whatsoever, right? And yeah, like you got money, it's a whole different thing. You enjoyed it for so many years already. But what if 10 years ago, that 1 million, right, you can acquire 3 to 4 properties in Klang Valley area in cash? Imagine what would that be like for now. Every kid right now, you basically don't have to pay already, because you can collect rent for their education, you can collect rent for their living expenses already. Wow! But no point lah. Now we regret, so no point. At least we learn from the lessons. At least now start looking into it. And the best thing is, we are all going to live way longer than our parents did. So 48 is still very, very young. And what do I think about the hype? I actually made a review about it. It's very high in terms of potential. It's a new township project within a very matured location. But the only setback now is because it had not launched yet. I don't know what's the selling price. If the developer is very ambitious about it, then too bad lah, because it will eat into our potential earnings as investor. But in terms of product, I think it's very, very interesting. A lot of people may think that, hey, will Sunway students actually come over and stay at the hype? This is when you will have difference in rental based on proximity to the distance lah. So walking distance, of course, the highest price. I need to take a shuttle, then it will be longer. If I need to take the BRT, transfer a little bit, then it will be cheaper. So it then depends on that. But that area, not only students, but a lot of office people as well. Well, I spent like half an hour on the review, so do check it out. It's a very, very interesting concept, but to me, I got not enough kidney already. I'm still now waiting 6 months, 5 months. Yeah, around 5 months for my tenancy to roll before I can qualify for my next financing for my next property already. So after maybe that, then only I'll consider. But hopefully they are not too ambitious about the pricing. And I guess that's all for this episode. Thank you so much, Thomas, for sharing your story. And it's a very interesting one because there are several mistakes that you highlight to us, and I think that all of us can learn from it, like overspending on renovation, some concept of road not taken because you take over a business from your parents. Is it wrong to be in a small town? Then now overpaying for a project that you think is overpriced, then is it really? Then you wish that you could start earlier, but what's the next earliest point? Now, today, this year. And I guess that's all for this episode. And for a lot of new audiences, right, I think a lot of people underestimate time, underestimate age. A lot of younger audience think that, now I'm 25, right? 48 is so far away. 60 is even worse. So why plan so long, Sean? Chill lah, enjoy a little bit first lah. To me, I'm fortunate that I'm enjoying this entire process of investment. I'm weird like that, but do spend more time in speaking to a lot of uncles, especially in this season where it's almost year end already. There'll be a lot of gatherings. I also want to encourage this thing where we start speaking to uncles or aunties within their 50s or 60s, right? Understand about their first property purchase. What was the interest like? What was the loan tenure like? What was the price like? And do they regret that they didn't buy more? Let's make property conversation cool again, and between generations, right, it will be a very good connecting topic altogether. So I really hope to see that in more Chinese New Year's, Christmas, basically gatherings lah. Again, thank you very much, Thomas. And for those who still have any questions regarding real estate, do just email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me, Instagram iherng, and I will see you guys on the next one. Ciao. When love comes in